Hello and welcome to the fourth round of the Player One Podcast Gran Turismo Sport Racing season. After taking his second win of the season at Red Bull Ring last time out, Mook 201 sits atop the point standings, followed closely by Lactose Hertz and Stewie tied for second, and Cancer Cowboy just 3 points back in fourth place. The team standings are even closer, with Team Subaru and Team Hyundai locked at 43 points each, which is impressive considering neither Subaru driver has won a race yet this season. And starting on the front row here at Spa, we've got Laguna Seca winner Lactose Hertz in first beside Goki KS. Team Subaru takes up the second row with Cancer Cowboy and Stewie. Team Hyundai on the third row with championship leader Mook and Wanster. Compo for Team McLaren, and Chief for Nissan, and bringing up the rear Saito Halifax for Team Honda. Getting ready to go here. And it's lights out. Lactose taking off from the first position. Goki right behind him. Stewie up into third already. Into La Source for the first time. And Stewie gets smacked into by Compo and drops all the way from third to ninth. Heading up Eau Rouge for the first time, we see Goki has taken the lead from Lactose. The rest of the field comes up into the long straight. Lactose fighting a little bit with Cancer Cowboy back there for second place, and the whole field bunched up behind them from fourth all the way down to ninth. Stewie trying to come back from that first turn incident. Gives, looks like Wanster a little shot there. There's cars all over the place going through the curves there. Compo gets actually knocked right off the track, and now he falls back to ninth. Meanwhile, up front, Goki holding off Lactose. Lactose right on his bumper. Cancer Cowboy seems happy to just sit there in third place. Team Hyundai fighting each other for fourth, while Stewie actually pulls around one. And going for championship leader Mook, and takes fourth place away from him as well. Stewie back up to fourth place halfway through lap one. Enchi now up to fifth place. Team Hyundai right behind him. Enchi overshoots that turn a little bit. Doesn't really have control yet. Goes off into the sand. And now he's back down to eighth. Compo still behind him. Saito Halifax now fighting. Got a whole wall of Hyundai in front of him. Looks like we've settled out a little bit here, although Team Hyundai now fighting for that position. Oh, Saito now up within them. Gets past Mook. He's got Wanster in his sights. Wanster goes way wide coming in towards the chicane. Saito with the momentum. Gets a little bit squirrely going into the chicane there, but manages to hang on to it. Oh, Wanster gets really squirrely coming off the chicane. Saito now trying to take advantage of that, but he's got Mook passing him. Goki in the top three now through La Source, heading up to Eau Rouge again for the second time. Not a lot of pressure from Lactose right now, but it is early in the race. And the top three now have actually created a bit of daylight between themselves and the rest of the field. The rest of the field now just coming up Eau Rouge. Lactose taking a look to the left. Getting a nice draft down the straightaway here. Here's the rest of the field. Now we've got championship leader Mook passing Stewie, his rival at the moment. Stewie second place in the points right now. He takes fourth place away. And Stewie just gets enveloped by the field, going all the way from fourth down to sixth, seventh, eighth. Gets into it with Saito. Compo gets past as well. Saito off the track. Stewie from fourth to eighth through that series of turns. Looks like he might get one of the Nissans here. Spa-Francorchamps for 7th. Contact with Campo. Passes him for 6th. He's got Mook in his sights. Meanwhile, Goki still up front, getting a lot of pressure now from Lactose. Looks like Cancer Cowboy has lost these two a little bit. Lactose all over the rear bumper of Goki. Keep making a little bit of distance on him there as they head into the chicane to come to the end of lap 2. So now with 5 laps to go, Goki Chaos still leading, Lactose 2nd, Cancer Cowboy 3rd, Wanster being passed by Enchi here into the chicane. There's a little bit of an ambitious move. Both drivers off the course, which brings Stewie back up to 4th. Campo in 5th, Mook 6th, Wanster 7th, and Enchi in 8th. Leaders now already past Eau Rouge while the rest of the field hasn't even gotten there yet. Again, Lactose taking a look down the straightaway, looks to the inside of Goki. Either loses momentum or thinks better of it and tucks back in for the draft. Which brings Cowboy right up to his rear bumper. Meanwhile, Wanster steaming past his teammate down the straightaway as he's chasing Campo for that 5th place. Stewie way overshoots that turn at the end of the straightaway and is going to get swamped by the field again. Saito with a 4-wheel slide through that turn, trying to catch back up to the field. The lone representative of Team Honda slides way wide in the turn. Stewie now trying to put some distance on the group there as he's in 4th place. Big fight happening behind him there. See if he can catch up to his teammate here. He dips his right rear wide and goes for a ride through that turn. Spins himself out, and now back in last place again. Goki holding steady in 1st. Spin, Goki, Lactose, and Cancer top 3 this entire race. Lactose keeping Goki honest up there. But again, having to deal with a little bit of pressure from that Subaru behind him. As they head into the chicane for the 3rd time. Coming to finish lap 3. Still Goki, Lactose, Cancer, Campo, Wanster, Mook, Enchi, and Stewie. Team Hyundai now coming into the chicane side by side. Looks like Mook trying to take that 5th position away from his teammate. Manages to do it and gets up beside Campo. Can't tell from this angle. No, Campo gets a good launch out of that chicane. Saito's caught back up to the field as well. And makes an ambitious move through La Source. Looks like he hit Wanster. So, of course, we were playing here with the rubber band physics, which means that when you fall back, you actually get a real big boost to try to catch up to the field. Here we've got Stewie side by side. Well, actually, he's just passed Mook. These are the top 2 men in the championship right now. Stewie now looking for 4th place from Campo. Mook thinks about making it 3 wide, but seems to back off. Stewie actually takes that position away from the McLaren driver. Mook follows him through into 5th. Mook now sets his sight on that Subaru. This pack breaking up a little bit. Mook goes way wide. Stays in the gas. Oh, and he hits those rumble strips, and the car goes right around. He takes Campo with him, and that is a big wreck for the championship leader. And he's not being reset for some reason. That's going to take a while to come back from. Back up here with the lead trio. Looks like Lactose is backed off a tiny bit. He goes a little wide himself, but he hangs on to it. This is starting to look very similar to the Laguna Seca race that Lactos actually ended up winning. Most of that race featured Goki, Lactos, and Cancer Cowboy way out ahead of the rest of the field. Coming through the chicane to complete lap 4. We're more than halfway through this race, and Goki has been in command since turn 1. Cancer Cowboy taking a look to the left of Lactos there. Lactos taking a look to the right of Goki. This is as close as Lactos has come to passing Goki for the lead at this point. They go side by side into La Source. Goki gets a little loose coming out, but he had way more momentum since he got to go around the outside, and he keeps that lead. He's got that Nissan right on his rear bumper now. Rest of the field hanging into La Source now. Stewie goes way wide, and she grabs 5th place away from him. Stewie's going to drop down behind Saito and Wanster again back to 8th place. Enchi having a great race. Saito having a good race as well. So he heads up the hill, makes contact, and goes spinning at the top of Eau Rouge. Back down to 8th place. Mook has not caught up to the field yet. Looks like Saito got a half-second penalty for his trouble as well. Stewie hunting down those Hyundais. Front bumper of Stewie's car is pretty beat up. Meanwhile, back in front, Goki's still holding on to his lead. Lactos has pressured him the entire race, but Goki has run really well, nice and smooth. And these three have a massive lead on the rest of the pack at this point, as you can see by the mini-map in the top right corner. Speaking of the rest of the pack, here's Campo battling it out with Stewie. He ends up spinning himself out. Mook now up to 8th. Lactos now putting tons of pressure on Goki as they come around to complete lap 5. There'll be 2 laps to go here once they get through the chicane. Goki has a little daylight between him and 2nd place. Looks like he really slowed down through that chicane. The Lactos now beside him, gets a nose ahead of him for the first time since the start of the race. And we have a new leader with 2 laps to go. Goki trying to come back, takes them both wide through La Source, and goes wide himself, spins out a little bit, and now he's fallen way behind in 3rd place as the Nissan and the Subaru steam ahead. Going back up the hill, 2 laps to go. Again, I referenced Laguna Seca. This feels very similar. Goki led most of that race as well and had a little spin with a couple laps to go. Cancer Cowboy now looking for his first win of the season. He's taking a look. Here comes the rest of the pack as they head up the hill again. 2 laps to go. Here's Stewie. Makes contact with Wanster, and he goes spinning at the top of the hill. And a 1-second penalty to boot. Back down to the rear of the field again for about the 4th time this race. And now with a 1-second penalty to bleed off as well. Meanwhile, our championship leader, Mook, in 6th place right now. His main competition is behind him in 9th. He's looking to raise his position before the end of the race. He's got Saito Halifax in his sights. Saito goes a little bit narrow there, hits the bollards and falls back. Mook now up to 5th place. Now he's got that Nissan of Enchi in front of him. Meanwhile, his teammate Wanster goes way wide, right where Mook went wide last time. And he falls back. There's Stewie trying to catch up to him after that wreck at the top of Eau Rouge. Lactos still leading. Cancer Cowboy right behind him. A lot of respect between these 2 drivers. Goki trying to catch up to the top 2, but hasn't seemed to make any headway on this penultimate lap. Campo behind Mook here. Mook still trying to get that 4th position and maintain his championship lead. Goes a little wide. Loses a spot to Campo. Campo now trying to get up to 4th place. And here comes our leader to begin the final lap. Cancer Cowboy right behind him. 1 lap to go here at Spa-Francorchamps. Goki's still not looking like he's making any real progress back there. Lactose goes way wide through the source. Big jumble of cars here through the chicane. Saito tries to make a move, ends up sliding though. Stewie back up to 7th after that wreck on the previous lap. Looking to the inside of Enchi for 6th. And gets turned a little bit by Saito, then gets smacked by Wanster, had nowhere to go, and now Stewie is facing the wrong way on turn 1 as the field steams up the hill. 2nd place man in the championship, now way behind the group with 1 lap to go. Championship leader Mook cuts the corner a little bit there at the top of Eau Rouge, but doesn't look like he's going to get a penalty for that. He's looking for that 4th position. He's got the McLaren of Campo in front of him. Doesn't quite make the pass. Gets hit by Enchi. And now the 3 of them bouncing off each other. Mook comes out with the lead of that group. Now in 4th place, championship leader trying to maintain that lead. Lactose now with a little breathing space between him and Cancer Cowboy. About halfway through the final lap here. These top 3 have had a nice clean race. Everyone else has been, you can see the paint on the bumpers of all these cars is just completely destroyed. It's been a scruffy race for everyone else. This Mook still holds on to that 4th position, but he goes way wide here. Starts to fall back. Enchi passes him again. So Campo on his inside. Campo passes him. Still hanging on though. Sitting in 6th place right now, our championship leader. You can see Stewie is caught up with the group. Championship leader goes for a spin again. And with less than half a lap to go, Mook is way behind in 9th place. Meanwhile, Cancer Cowboy trying to make a pass on the final turn for the lead. Spins out himself. Can he get going again before Goki comes around the chicane? There he's right back there. The finish line's right in front of him, though. Cancer Cowboy hangs on for 2nd place. A win for Lactose. 3rd place for Goki, who led most of the race. Here's 2nd place championship man Stewie trying to gain some positions into the final chicane. Up to 7th, 6th. Hops the curb, goes for a spin. He's going to end up in 8th place. And after a great race at the front, pole sitter Lactose Hertz pulls out a win after race leader Goki spins. It's eerily similar to Lactose's previous win at Laguna Seca, right down to Cancer Cowboy grabbing 2nd place. And with that win, Lactose takes over the points lead thanks to terrible performances by Mook and Stewie at the back of the field. In spite of that, Cancer Cowboy's strong 2nd place puts Team Subaru in the lead of the Constructors' table. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for Round 5 from the Fuji International Speedway. See you then.